Hello and welcome to the 209th installment of the Synapse Misfire Podcast. I'm your host, Chris, joined by other host, Jordan.
That's me.
Jordan,
Yeah.
remind the people.
You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Radio Public, Spotify, Pocket Cast, and the RSS feed, all linked below. YouTube and Spotify are the video platform where you can see us. There's Instagram and TikTok where you can contact us and check out some clips. And we have email, synapsemisfire@pm.me. Send us your comments, questions, concerns, and death threats. That was a comical opening. Chris's dad was talking to the cat.
We're a calm, collected, cool podcast.
Yeah, hot off being angry last episode for me, which was only like 20 minutes ago for me. So
Yeah, we're chilling now. We're calm.
couple of chills.
Listen, we were here. We brought it down here. Okay.
Yeah.
We're back down. We're back to zero.
Starting all over.
Starting this thing all over again.
Yeah.
Am I vamping and stalling for time because I have nothing to talk about? Yes.
We put this episode on 0.5 speed for this reason.
We put it on 0.1 speed, so we only have to record 5 minutes of footage.
So goodbye. No. Oh, man. So you know something else, Chris? I think I talked about this last time. Not actually last time. Last time I was here, which was technically 207. There was a game. Did I talk about Jericho at all? Or Clive Barker or anything like that? Do you remember?
I don't think so.
It might have been just before or just after, but I know I had mentioned to you maybe off
It
mic.
sounds so familiar.
Well, I think it's because I mentioned it off mic too that I had gone out the day before we recorded with Bud Light Boy, and we hit up some retro game stores, and there was a game there made by Clive Barker called Jericho. And I wanted to get it. I ended up going back and I got it, and when I was with him, and I ended up playing it. And dude, games in the early 2000s were weird.
Yeah.
So this game's from 2006. And it has a lot of cool shit going for it, like for the time. In terms of, 2006. It's a PS3 title, so it must have been like almost a launch title, essentially. And basically the concept is you're part of Jericho Squad. It's a squad of supernaturally gifted people who hunt down breaches, and those breaches are things where the firstborn, which is like almost like the devil in a way, is sort of breaching to the other side and causing mayhem. So it's got a pretty cool concept. The game is interesting because the gameplay is pretty straightforward. It's your first-person shooter where you're shooting and you can't ADS because it's from 2006.
Right.
And that's it. It's a squad-based shooter, so you have your squads. You can command them around, like where to go and stuff, and it's supernatural. So you're not fighting like soldiers. You're fighting like demons and shit. Think sort of like almost like a Doom 3, but with way less monster variety.
Okay, that makes sense.
So it's got that vibe. But what's cool is for the time, for 2006, you have, 8 squad members. And they all have different abilities. And they all have different weapons.
Okay.
And at any point, assuming they're with you, you can hold down X and hit the D-pad to switch to any one of them.
Oh, that's cool.
And you get different guns. They have different attachments on their guns, different abilities.
Is it like in a hero shooter type way where everyone just has their own
it's kind
unique thing, or
yeah, it's that vibe essentially. It's like a hero shooter, and it actually says squad-based hero shooter on the cover. So it's like it's almost like an OG hero shooter, yeah, but without the PvP. And it's kind of sick because like you'll switch to one guy and he can summon this like fire dragon that you can control and blow shit up. Another person is a sniper and you can shoot a bullet that you can control in slow mo and like follow through multiple enemies and shit. One person can open up a time rift where like time stops for them and they can run around, shoot people, and then it all begins again. Another person can resupply ammo like on command. Mm-hmm. Another one has what the hell was it? Oh, he has telekinesis, so you can actually like basically enter astral form and bind a group of enemies to an area and like make them do shit and stuff.
That's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool for 2006. It's definitely a weird game in the sense of like the story, the way it comes together. It's very much about like religion in a way. So the whole thing is like you have like a priest guy with you who can like cleanse souls and shit. He's kind of like an exorcist.
Forgive my ignorance, but isn't Jericho like a thing of Christian connotation?
I honestly don't know. I think so. It kind of sounds like it. They might have said something about it in the game about Jericho being something. I know in the context of the game, it's that squad. They're called Jericho Squad. So I don't know if it directly ties to it, but Yeah, and it's almost like Doom in the sense where you're in cathedrals and shit. So it's got that religious undertone.
The Bible's account of Jericho describes a pivotal event in the Israelite conquest of Canaan. The Israelites, led by Joshua, marched around the city of Jericho for 6 days, and then 7 times on the 7th day, while priests blew trumpets and the people shouted, the walls of Jericho miraculously crumbled, allowing the Israelites to conquer the city. This event is detailed in Joshua chapter 6.
I can't think of anything in the game specifically that has to do with that, but that it's probably where the name comes from as a call out to that. Maybe it has to do with the breach, where the breach is breaking between worlds, essentially.
I guess, yeah, so, it's breaking down the walls and shit.
Yeah, so makes sense.
There's actually, in that same vein, in a kind of similar vein, there's a tabletop game that I can't remember the name of. But essentially it's this sort of like diesel punk it's sort of this diesel punk's tabletop game in which it's World War I era soldiers and technology versus demons.
That actually sounds sick as fuck.
And there's a bunch of like crusade type influences there too, which sounds super fucking cool. And it's actually less of a tabletop and more of like a war game, which like current tabletops are based off of war games. So think like Warhammer.
Yeah. Grand battles.
Where you're controlling a squadron of troops or whatever. But that shit looks so cool.
That does look pretty cool, yeah.
A lot of the art and stuff that's been made for it, I can't remember the name of the game, but it looks so fucking awesome.
And it's out already? It's not like a thing coming out?
I think there's more stuff coming out for it, but I think there's a rule set for it that's free that you can get.
That's pretty cool.
Which I adore about in any tabletop setting.
That open sources, yeah.
Is anytime a tabletop game gives out a free rule set, I'm all over it.
Yeah.
Because
cool.
it encourages me to buy the cool art, the cool book with the cool art.
Well, and it keeps the conversation going, because then either you'll buy that or at least you'll keep that rule set in mind and like use it, and then that can lead to other people being exposed to whatever that is, you know? Versus if you're just like, nah, screw this, and then never talk about it.
Well, that's why I also collect, I like essentially collect little RPG books now.
Yeah.
Because so I got the D&D books because the new ones came out, the 2024 ones. So I got all those, and I was in that for a while. And then I got Call of Cthulhu, the starter set. This is pretty cool. And then I branched out and I got the Pathfinder stuff. And then I got the rulebook for Dungeon Crawl Classics because there was stuff I wanted to steal out of there. And I got the starter set for Daggerheart because I thought that was cool. Yeah. And I might be getting the one for Draw Steel at some point because and the Cosmere RPG. Brandon Sanderson just released his Cosmere RPG, but he only released, as far as I'm aware, the settings and materials for Roshar, which is out of the Stormlight Archives, and I'm waiting for the setting that he does for Scadrial, which is out of the Mistborn series, because. And I'm only buying this if, and only if, you can create a character that is a Steel Inquisitor or something of that sort. Because I think those enemies are actually, I will say it a million times, are actually like the coolest fucking thing I've ever read about. Yeah,
you were telling me about them again. Weren't they're made of steel, essentially?
No, so they're guys, just normal guys, but they get so high up in this... in the echelons of this church, that they eventually take on this sort of transformation where spikes are driven basically like through their eyes and out the back of their head.
That's right.
And all through their body and like down their spine and shit. And it's expanded upon a lot. And I think the concept of a Steel Inquisitor and the name, mind you, is really fucking cool.
Yeah, that's what it was.
But I might be picking that up, I'm not sure, but I definitely will be getting Draw Steel because that seems, as I'm running a Pathfinder campaign now, if I run another thing, I'd probably want to run Daggerheart or Draw Steel, which seems like more in line with what I want to play.
That's fair. I didn't realize you had so many like tabletop.
Rule books. I collect a ton because I think a lot of them have shit that's useful to steal.
To make a homebrew thing,
regardless of what game you're playing. Because a lot of these things have entirely universal rule sets. The roll this die to do this is 10% of the rules. It's, well, we have this system that works this way. And then you can just take that and go, all right, let's put that in my Pathfinder game, or let's put that in my D&D game.
Yeah.
So I do that a lot.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean,
specifically, I bought the Dungeon Crawl Classics book because the spells in that book are batshit.
Are they? Yeah.
Essentially, I believe if you're playing a spellcaster, you cast a spell and then you roll a die. And Dungeon Crawl Classics has their weird dice, which you get your standard array, but you also get, I think, like a D14 and a D16.
Yeah, some odd ones,
and it goes up to like D24, 28, and 32 or something like that. But you roll a check when you do a spell, and the higher the number is, the better the result is. And it's, if you look at like Fireball, you can roll a check, and if it's, I think, above a 30 or a 32 or something, your Fireball does 20 d6 damage and has a range of a mile, and you don't even have to see the person you're casting it on.
That's crazy.
It's a bunch of wacky bullshit that I wanted to steal from.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, well, I can see that being fun. Making like a wacky.
So I try to steal from that.
That makes sense. It's always good to take the little grains here and there.
And then eventually maybe I'll run one of these. Shadow Dark might be on my list too. I might get that at some point.
What's that one based on? Is that entirely independent?
That one's it's entirely independent, but it's essentially just a dungeon crawl game where it includes a rule of a real-time 1 hour timer where you have your torch timer.
Huh.
And when the torch timer runs out, you're in complete darkness in this dungeon. No one has dark vision. So, you have to prep. Oh, we're going to be in this dungeon. We got to bring torches, and they only last an hour. So how many torches are we going to bring? And where are we planning on going? And you have to... I just think also the art in that book is really cool.
Yeah, that's the thing about a lot of those fantasy things is the art is so sick.
Yeah. So I try to steal a lot of stuff like that. Or I try to... and eventually, who knows, maybe I'll run one of these things eventually.
Yeah, naturally see it through.
Dungeon Crawl Classics also has a cool system of level 0 characters where each player controls like 4 level 0 characters. And you go through an adventure, and then the survivors of that adventure become level 1, and they can actually play. They can play a proper campaign or whatever.
It's like a Trial of the Grasses sort of thing.
In a way, yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That is pretty sick, yeah. Where were we talking about? Oh, yeah, Jericho.
Oh, yeah.
The religious thing. That's what that
yeah.
So that also kind of leads me to like another point in the game is art. Like you were saying, like the art style. The monster designs and like the world designs are pretty cool, but they just have that 2006 look to them. So they're all gray. Yeah. They're all brown. They look the same, essentially. That's the color palette from the 2006 games. Go back to Gears of War.
All these monsters, and they're all brown.
No, not the monsters. The environment I'm talking about. The monsters are just humanoid creatures.
Okay, that's why I made a face. I was like, what are you talking about?
No. I mean, there are a lot of monsters, I think, that are like probably of that color palette. But no, it's the environments. Like the cathedrals, they're all gray. That you're in like a minefield, all gray.
It's all very Fallout.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, but like even worse in a way. Like it's weird. You'd have to see some pictures to really understand like just how limited the color palette is in this entire game. It's super bizarre. But what's cool is you bounce through time. So like those breaches I mentioned actually take you through different time periods. So like at one point you'll be in the Crusades, and the next point you're at World War I, and then all of a sudden you're at another war. Like it's just all over the place, and then you finally get to the actual monster, which is the firstborn. Which the concept of the firstborn, I don't know if this is from the Bible or anything. I don't think so, because I feel like I've never heard of this. But essentially, the firstborn is, in this game, God's first attempt at creating life. Creates this thing, and it's just messed up, essentially. So it's like, it's got evil tendencies and all this power and stuff. So instead of killing it, because by killing it, he would upset the balance of the universe, he locks it away in a pocket dimension.
Okay.
And that's where the thing is trying to breach out of. Essentially, it sends out influences to almost like hypnotize people into doing rituals to open these breaches so it can eventually get out. And that's where Jericho comes in. They try to close these breaches before it ever escapes. And in this game...
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is like a really cool concept.
Mind you, this is the same God that flooded the entire earth to kill everybody because they didn't like him enough. So, you know, he probably could have done something.
Yeah, could have. That could have been done. But yeah, the thing with the gameplay I mentioned too about the characters moving around and being able to switch between them on the fly is like, I kind of like this about the game. It is not afraid to just murder allies throughout the story. Like literally, the character you play as in the beginning dies in the prologue and then becomes a spirit trapped in that realm, and that's how you jack between all the different people and essentially take them over. So he gets eviscerated, and then like throughout the story, some characters die, only like a couple, but then literally the final boss, you get to him, and he just explodes 2 of your allies in front of you, and then they're gone. That's it.
That's crazy.
And then yeah, you're left to fight with I think like 4 of the people left to actually fight and fend off the final the firstborn. What's weird about it though is like again, it's got that 2006 quality where it's like, it tries to tell a really interesting story, but it doesn't have particularly like the chops or the budget or the time to do it. Like nowadays, you can get, really beautiful cutscenes out of indie studios with almost no budget. This game, I like it in a way because it doesn't have cutscenes. It's all in game. Like it'll just take control of your camera and move you around and stuff, and it's pretty cool. But like the game literally just ends with like you swimming out of the breach. And then it just like cuts to black. It's like, okay, game over. Like you killed the bad guy. There's no like voiceover or monologue to like, wrap things up. It's just like you killed the bad guy, your mission's successful, game over. So like, but it builds up this narrative to be really cool. So it kind of sucks that it does that at the end. But
this is kind of what I was talking about last time, where there's something that's just, and then the conclusion happens.
Yeah, actually, yeah, you did say that in the last one we just did. So 100%. That's like what happens. It's like, oh, we're gonna get to the fight the boss, and we killed him, and we're done. End of game.
Fair.
And like, yeah, it makes sense. And I heard the game's getting a remake. I didn't know that. Apparently, it's getting a remake, which I think if it does, could be fucking awesome.
I might play it if there's a remake.
Yeah, I think that would be sick. Because if you can take this guy's vision, but now give it a fresh coat of paint that isn't 2 colors, and also kind of modernize the shooting. Like if you made this a really good first-person shooter with this kind of story and gave the guy a little more time to cook it in the oven where he could give it more of that narrative side, this game would be sick. It was actually a fun game, like I have to say. It was kind of frustrating sometimes because it's an old game, so the AI's ass and like the way you shoot and stuff like that, the controls wise. So I think giving it a new lease on life would be sick.
Yeah, because games. That's the shitty part about older games is they play like older games.
Yeah, like there's no sprint button.
Yeah, yeah. There's even I feel like there's more of a problem with games that are older in terms of almost predating our experience with video games. Mm-hmm. Because I find something like GTA 5, which I think is a game that's definitely starting to show its age a lot.
Yeah.
Or The Witcher 3 too. I think it's starting to show its age. Mm-hmm. Because that game is like 10 fucking years old now.
Yeah.
And you play it, and you're like, oh, I played this, when I was 14, and it feels just the same then as it feels just the same now as it did then, and it doesn't feel as outdated, I think.
Yeah.
As if, if I went back and played Witcher 1. oh my God.
Yeah.
This is awful.
Yeah.
Damn, bitch, you played this?
Yeah, I can feel that because I felt that actually between, funny enough, I mentioned it last time with Rockstar, Manhunt 1 and Manhunt 2. Because Manhunt 1, I want to say, was 2002, and Manhunt 2 was 2006, I believe. I believe there was 4 years between them. And Manhunt 1, I was like getting frustrated at the PS2 controls. And I remember as a kid, I played a lot of PS2, but I also still used to get frustrated about them back then. So that like held true. I'm like, man, these controls, this is annoying. And the Manhunt 2 felt like an entirely new generation. Even though they were both on PS2, it's just from that like little time in between where like, oh, maybe the right stick shouldn't be inverted by default. Like, we figured that out. Oh, maybe you would want to be able to walk and turn the camera at the same time and not do one or the other. Like, 'cause that's a big thing with Manhunt 1.
You know.
So.
Listen, they were working with they only had so many resources to go around.
Yeah, that's fair. That's why when I play something like Bully, I'm like, I could see why someone would maybe play this now and be like, this sucks. Like controls wise, this sucks. But like for me, that game controls beautifully. It's like second nature to me.
Especially though, too, when the control scheme is kind of fucked because it's from a different time, and it's something that was only available on consoles, so you have to play with a controller. And I turn into a fucking ape with a controller in my hand.
I've been feeling that way a little bit about PS3 games, emulating them. I was playing Infamous 2. I started it the other day. And using the bumpers to shoot instead of the triggers, I forgot that was a PS3 thing.
Oh, yeah.
Where they always use, like Red Dead 1 uses the bumpers to aim and shoot.
Yeah, I remember that.
And the triggers are like your other buttons, like what would be your bumpers now.
I remember that very vaguely because I didn't have a PS3, but I played one like once or a few times. I was like, what the fuck is this bullshit?
And it's funny, we're kind of going full circle on it because now you have the DualSense, which has the adaptive triggers that can turn them into essentially bumpers. Because arguably, like for competitive shooters, people who play competitive shooters with a controller, which obviously isn't very many, the first thing they do is they switch out their triggers for mouse click triggers because you don't want all that travel when you're trying to make quick, responsive shots. You want just an instant press. And the bumper's arguably better for that. But naturally, like dexterity-wise, it's like, this sucks.
But also it would make sense that the trigger would shoot the gun.
Trigger. Yeah.
It would correspond. The trigger on the controller would correspond to the trigger in the game.
Yeah.
So,
it's also just more comfortable and it's just better. I don't know. But yeah, that's been like one of the things is going backwards like that. The weird control schemes, like for example, triangle to jump is a big one that I've been finding when I play PS2 or PS3 games. Triangle to jump. Circle always seems to be dodge. Makes sense. That tracks. X to interact a lot. So like what would be your jump button now on like a PS5? Like that to open doors and stuff. Also kind of weird. Square seems to be consistently reload, I've found. But you know what it made me realize? Games had such different control schemes between genres and games back then than they do now. So like for example, Uncharted, square is to punch, triangle is to reload in the early Uncharted games. A game like Jericho, triangle is to jump, square is to reload. Right? Made sense. Like by today's standards, minus the triangle part, but the square to reload. And then you play something like Infamous, and square is your melee, right? It's a little newer. I think it's from 2007 was Infamous 1. Triangle becomes your interact, which that made sense now, kind of, by modern standards. And then it stays like that. But anything before that, it's all over the place. It's like whatever they felt like.
Yeah, because in my mind, now I'm... in terms of an Xbox controller, because it's like primarily what I would play with. A is jump. Mm-hmm. X is jump if you're on a Rockstar game. Mm-hmm. B is reload. Y is interact. X could also be reload.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
I think maybe in Call of Duty, Y might have been reload.
X was.
X was?
Yeah, Y is switch weapons in Call of Duty. In every one of them.
That's what it was. Yeah. Y switches, X reloads.
Yep.
X or B is reload. I think B is also reload in the Rockstar games.
It is, yeah.
A is jump.
Yep. And then typically Like weapon wheel, always left bumper.
Yep.
Never the right bumper.
Y is also, in terms of interact, it's also if I see a vehicle, I should be hitting Y for it to get in.
Yeah.
Just like if, because I think on PC there's also a pretty universal control scheme. Mm-hmm. But the thing that's fucked is a lot of games switch up between E and F being interact buttons.
Yeah, E will be interact in one, and yeah.
Yeah, so it kind of fucks me. But reliably, I is inventory or tab.
Yeah. P is usually pause or escape. M is map.
Yeah, M is map. J is journal.
Yeah.
Look at your quests.
Yep. C or control is crouch. Z is usually prone. That's how I find it.
It depends, or you could double tap control in certain games where you can crouch and then prone.
Yep. R reload, obviously.
Yeah.
F or V for melee. That's for me. That's what I usually find. F or V is melee.
So I've controls like that. I usually I'll either do melee or grenade to middle mouse button usually.
That's a good spot for it because G is usually grenade. Yeah.
So
Q. What do you usually find Q to be?
Q is usually weapon wheel.
Oh yeah, weapon wheel. If there's a game with inventory and a weapon wheel, it's Q. Otherwise, it's tab usually. For weapon wheel, like for GTA and stuff. That makes sense. Yeah. Space, obviously jump. Just like obviously, that just made sense.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to always get annoyed. This is why I feel like I would be screwed if I tried to play a modern PC game without the mouse I have, because I use the Razer Naga with 12 buttons on the side. So for me, my weapons are usually my like 1 through 3, if it's like primary, secondary, and then like a knife. And then 4 or 5 is always my melee or grenade. So like going back to doing everything on the keyboard now, I think I'd be screwed if I had a different mouse. So
yeah, I don't know. I have the macros on my mouse. I have like 2 of them. Mm-hmm. And I don't really use them for anything.
Yeah, they're my go-to for like everything. I mean, it helps that I have fucking 12 of them, so I can do a lot of shit with them. But
true.
They're nice. Yeah.
You used to have that thing. You used to have that little gaming pad thing, right? Where there was like the little mouse and like a little numpad type keyboard that you could use.
Yeah. What is happening? What is happening?
It just like pulls up and there's a credit card jump scare on his screen.
I was gonna say I didn't save it under his name. I have a photo of Oscar sleeping on it. What do you mean you can't find? I'm in the wrong folder. That's why. I said, what do you mean you can't find cat in my searches? Cat. I will find this picture because there you go. That's him sleeping on it. I'll put that one up there.
Oh, man.
So it was a ambidextrous keyboard. It was a little tiny keyboard that had WASD. It has V. It has H. And then it has 2 space bars because you could do ambidextrous. Mm-hmm. And it basically just had all the gaming keys you needed for your left hand only. So it didn't have like any of the J's or anything. Oh, no, actually it did because it was a different orientation. So it had the regular like WASD QWERTY. But then the bottom right was like this. It says H, J. So it had like the other weird ones that were on the right side of the keyboard, just off to the edge. It was actually pretty nice. But impractical as hell. Because then as soon as you go to do anything not gaming related, you have to pull out another keyboard. Remember I had the folding one?
Yeah,
that was my
that little fuck ass keyboard. A little ass keyboard. The thing was like this big.
It was not. It was like a 20%.
There were times where Jordan and I would be at Jordan's apartment and he would have me do something on his computer and I'd be like, Jordan, this keyboard is the size of my fingernail. How am I supposed to type with this fucking thing?
And then I got the bigger one that was the same size keyboard but also had a trackpad on it. Remember that fucking thing? Oh man.
That's the thing about stuff like that is there are a lot of products that exist specifically to play games on and have no other purpose. And I think that makes sense for everything except PC.
Yeah.
Because I use my PC for mostly not gaming, actually.
Nowadays, yeah.
The majority of what's being run on my... the most frequently run thing on my PC is probably YouTube? Firefox, and then if I'm talking about slightly intensive activity, it's probably fucking Foundry, my virtual tabletop.
Yeah.
Which I use reliably every week. But other than that, I don't fucking really run anything a lot. I'll run Baldur's Gate. It seems like the only thing I can play recently.
Yeah.
Which is nice, by the way. It's the first time I've committed to a game in a while. So.
And it's nice that's one that it also crosses over to another hobby you have.
Yeah, I'm just about at the end of Act 2, so I'll probably finish that up today.
Nice. Yeah, so you're getting there's 3 acts, right? Total?
Yeah. So the last time I fizzled out in the beginning of Act 3. So we'll see what happens.
You'll get there. You'll push through. I believe in you.
We'll see what happens.
But yeah, I mean that keyboard though was cool, but we were also in high school at the time, so writing fucking essays on that folding keyboard made me want to kill myself. Oh my god. I wrote probably most of my junior and senior essays on that keyboard, and then I kept it all the way up until I had the apartment, and I was like, what if I just got a regular keyboard? And then immediately after that, I got tendonitis and can't use a keyboard for long durations anymore. Anyway, so now I have a $170 fucking mechanical cherry red keyboard that I'm like, oh, that's cool. Let me plug in my DualSense now.
See, as well, you know what I also have beef with intrinsically? If you use anything other than a 100%, I might let it like an 80% slide if you don't want the numpad. Get out.
That's what I have now. I have a TKL with 80%, so it's just missing the numpad.
I'll let the 80% slide, but...
Like the 60s?
A 60% keyboard. Ew. I still go with a 40% keyboard. It was just the letters and numbers. Fuck you. And mind you...
They're way more expensive.
This keyboard was like $500. I'm not paying $500 for less keyboard.
Yeah.
I wanted to have all the stupid lights and buttons on it. Well, who uses the numpad? Me!
Actually, if you do your own finances at home, like budgeting and stuff, numpad's fucking great for that. That's why I like my mouse with all my buttons. It's almost
like the numpad is laid out like a calculator for a specific reason.
Yeah.
So I'm typing in series of numbers.
And just fucking bang, 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 bang.
On the numpad. It's great.
And don't forget, plus, minus, divide, decimal.
They're all there.
So you don't have to hit shift and then hit 0 or hit shift and subtract to get plus. Like, you just... Done.
You just do it.
Yeah.
So give me a 100% keyboard any day of the week.
Yeah, okay. That's fair.
Takes up too much space on my desk. Get over it.
Get a bigger desk.
A bigger desk, loser.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, I actually only got rid of the numpad because I originally had an Apex Pro. Apex 7. Which was the full wired keyboard, 100% numpad, everything.
Right.
Then I realized one day I never used the numpad because it's become such second nature to me to use the mouse with all my 12 buttons.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, I could save some space here. So then I wanted a wireless keyboard, and it was the same price for a wireless TKL as a wired one. So I was like, I'll just do that and do the wireless one. So now I have a 80% with no numpad, everything else though, and I use my mouse as my numpad. The only thing that sucks is I can never remember where my decimal, plus, minus, and equals are, and divide. I know the numbers because it goes 1 through 10, 10 being 0, essentially.
Right.
And then I think it goes like 11 plus, 12 minus, and 13's enter, and 14's divide, or something. Like, I can program it, I just never have done it.
So it goes 1 through 10, not 0 through 9 on the labels?
On the mouse, yeah. Because it's technically not for like a numpad; it's for buttons in a game.
I guess, yeah.
But no, now that you pointed out though, 10, you can't enter 10 as your keybind. So you're right; it should be 0.
It's 0 through 9.
Yeah, it should be. Interesting. I guess maybe in the game, I've never actually rebound it because I usually just make it the number and I left it in number mode. But you can set up macros, so maybe it would be like mouse button 12, and that's why they do that. That's weird. I never clicked though.
If it's a computer thing, it should be 0 indexed anyway.
That makes sense. Yeah.
If you're accessing the first element of an array, you're accessing element 0.
Interesting. I don't know what the fuck that means, but okay.
Well, essentially, an array is a collection of items.
Oh, like an assortment.
And if you're accessing the first item in the array, it's item 0.
But it's the first item, man.
But then the second one is item 1.
That just don't mathematically make sense, though.
So that's where you run into the critical off by one error, where you loop through an array, but you don't set it. You set it just like the array length, and it fucks you up because it goes over the index or over the available index and starts accessing shit that it shouldn't.
So like if you say it goes to 13, but technically it's 0 through 12.
Yeah.
It goes to 13, but there's no 13.
Yeah.
I know computer.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of funny. I never thought about that. Yeah. That does make sense, though, if you were accessing that sort of data parameters, 0 through 12, and not 1 through 13.
It's actually a common exploit that people do is not necessarily that, but buffer overflows. Where if there's a way you can jump out of a buffer and now you're accessing shit that is outside of that buffer and you could do a lot more because you're just accessing bare memory. There was something I saw the other day of a guy on a plane, and the infotainment screen in the plane had a buffer overflow exploit that he had like a little Raspberry Pi or whatever, and he just like started flashing shit onto the little infotainment screen. Buddy, you're gonna be on a no-fly list.
You're on a no-fly list, and how the fuck did you get a Raspberry Pi through the TSA? They didn't just stomp that thing out? I'm surprised I didn't see that shit and stomp it.
Well, yeah. The TSA does miss, I think, 90% of things that go through. So
no, but if you try to go through with a Steam Deck, they blow your nuts off.
If you go in with, if you go in with a watch on, they grab your nuts.
You better listen. If you want to bring a bomb, that's fine, but do not bring any consumer electronics.
If you bring a water bottle that's 5 ounces, they just kill you on the spot.
Yeah.
The TSA shows up with machine guns and kills you.
I'm kind of glad I've never flown, but I also know it's inevitable. I'm gonna have to fly like probably soon, probably for my wedding, to be honest. So I'm like, fuck, man.
I have not flown recently.
It's probably only gotten worse.
I imagine it's probably worse. Flying sucks depending on where you're going and where you're flying out of. Like I flew to St. Louis, and that fucking airport sucks ass.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But the one that's closest to us isn't that bad.
One that's close to where our friend lives, or
yeah. That one's, it's a small airport, and you go through, and it's just usually most of the time you can just fucking breeze through.
I hear that a lot about that area. It's like that's where everyone for work and stuff always flies out of, or into even. So
but yeah, it does suck.
Yeah,
because also they give you the caveat of like, you gotta show up 3 hours before your flight starts, but then you run into the problem of a small airport like that, and you show up and now you have 2.5 hours to do nothing.
Yeah, which is annoying. I would just bring like a Steam Deck or something, but it's still annoying.
Or you show up 3 hours before your flight in St. Louis and you almost miss it. So,
Yeah, flights are surprisingly shitty, like in terms of the amount of delays and shit I always hear about. It's like crazy.
Yeah.
You would think something so critical would be a little maybe better managed, I guess. But.
Well, I think if there's any profit incentive to make something worse, they will always choose the profit incentive.
Oh, like the fucking double-decker airplane thing?
It's a double-decker, so your seat is basically, you're practically standing, and there's another seat right here.
And it's someone's ankles, yeah.
And you're sniffing someone's toes.
Better than being fucking head to ass, upside down.
I think we're going to, at a certain point, see these airplanes packed like slave ships.
Yeah. Like where they're layered.
Yeah. So we need to fit as many bodies into this plane as possible.
Chris, what seat do you have? I have coffin 37.
Yeah, I actually have business class, so I have extra leg room on the 47 people I'm on top of.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a dystopia that I feel like we're gonna end up with, to be honest.
Yeah, I think what has actually gotten better, though, is movie theater seats.
Yeah.
I think movie theater seats are pretty good now, and they used to not be.
I'm waiting to see when we get freaking massage seats. Because I feel like that's going to happen, and that's going to be so annoying. Because, like, the recliner should already be a little annoying. Like, if you're in the middle of the movie and someone gets up next to you and you just hear... and then they get up, and then they walk away, and then, right as the action's happening again, they come back, and they're going back up.
Yeah.
So, like, I just can't wait till we're in a theater and you just hear... as someone's getting massaged over there.
Oh, boy.
That's going to be the next
I shudder to think what would happen if they started putting vibrating chairs in certain movies.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
The amount of goonery that already happens.
Yeah. In movie theaters, yeah. It's rough. It reminds me of when my boss, his wife's Jeep, has a massage chair in it. I'm just like, I don't know if I really want to be driving on the road with someone who's in a fucking massage chair.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let me just drive back home after a day of work and like, bro, the fuck? Why does the car need a massage chair?
That's a good question.
Like, why? And maybe for the passenger, I guess, because you just want to upsell something.
But also, I've been in massage chairs before, and they are hardly ever comfortable experiences.
Yeah, they're usually not good.
It's just, it feels like there's a giant cat on your back trying to knead its way into your spinal cord.
Yeah.
And it's invariably an uncomfortable experience.
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't get the need. Like, I don't understand. Like, you're driving from point A to point B. Do you need a massage chair? Like, I get it, I guess, conceptually from, like, if we have a long drive. But, like, that's what... well, in a good old days, you just pull over, get out, stretch your legs a little bit.
You can take a fucking walk.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just hang out. I don't know. I think because there are car seats that I've been in that are deliberately actually just very uncomfortable. But most of them are perfectly serviceable, even for a long drive.
Yeah. I'm just saying it now. If the rental we had when we went to Tennessee had a massage chair, there's a 97% chance that I would have been wrapped around a tree. Because the drive up, I was fighting for my life until like 2 or 3 in the morning trying to stay awake. That if there was even a single vibration in that chair, I would have been like, I would have woken up at the bottom of a ditch with my legs 30 yards away from me.
See, I need the opposite. I need a wake-up chair.
Yeah, honestly, that would be better. Maybe if it was a massage chair that like fucking slung me right into the windshield or something. But fuck.
It's a wake-up chair. It's a chair that is essentially when it detects that you're nodding maybe a little bit, it sprays ice cold water at you. Like it's 33-degree water. It's so
32.01.
It touches your skin and flash freezes.
Yeah. No, so it sprays you with the water and then immediately douses you with the refrigerant. What the fuck?
You immediately get hit with the fucking Mr. Freeze special, dude. You get frozoned.
That's right. Eyes frozen open.
You look like fucking Jack Nicholson at the end of The Shining. When he gets caught in the snowstorm and he gets frozen to death.
Oh my god, man. Yeah, I need something like that for those long drives, not a massage chair. I always just find those massage chairs sometimes a little weird.
What happens if I get tired while I'm driving and I feel like I'm about to fall asleep, I'll just scream. I'll scream really loud, and that usually helps.
That's fair. I can see that being helpful.
So, that's maybe the little pro tip. Or instead of the cold water thing, it's an air horn that comes down.
Yeah.
These Looney Tunes ass cars. It drops a big anvil on your head.
I'm sure awake now that my head is split in half.
Yeah.
Can't close your eyes if you tried.
Close my eyes because I have no control of my muscles anymore because I am dead. I am a corpse.
Yeah. Yeah, that would work. Yeah, I just feel like the amount of drivers on the road that barely stay in a straight line now Just don't know how I feel about new Jeeps coming with massage chairs, man.
Well, there's also the same vehicles come with the stuff that keeps you in the lane.
Fair. But that reminds me of that video I saw of the Tesla where the guy put it in full self-driving. He's like, yeah, look how great this is. It was a Cybertruck. And on the screen, it shows a Cybertruck, and it shows the lanes that it like is keeping track of.
Right.
And it shows him in the left lane. He lets go of the wheel. It goes like another 800 feet. And then on the mini-map, the truck starts moving into like the breakdown area, and the actual truck just starts driving into the median. Like, it knew it was doing that. It showed you on the HUD that it was going into the median, and it just actively did it. I said, what the fuck is that about? Like,
behold, full self-driving technology is only a couple years away.
Catch me walking everywhere, bro, honestly.
I don't know. I don't think, as much as there is a lot of human error in driving, maybe we shouldn't beta test driving. We shouldn't beta test the computer driving when it's a 9,000-pound truck that goes 0 to 60 in 3 seconds.
Yeah.
You know, maybe start with a fucking go-kart or something.
I feel like there should be tiers to licensing depending on how good you are at driving. So, like, when you get your license, you get, like, a sedan. Like, no more than 3,600 pounds, like a small sedan.
Oh, yeah.
And then after, like, 3 or 4 years of good driving, no surcharges or anything, it's like, okay, you have reached, like, a SUV. Like a small SUV. Not like an Expedition.
Yeah.
None of that bullshit.
There is no fucking reason that I, getting my license, can just now operate with the same license I got. I tested for this license in a fucking Toyota Corolla. And now with this same license, I can drive, if I find the right one, a Class A RV. The 40-foot long fucking...
Yeah.
With air brakes and the fucking... the whole thing.
Yeah.
I can just buy that and drive it with my regular license that I used to drive my Honda Accord.
Yeah. Mind you, a Honda Accord that has also more horsepower than you would realistically need.
Right.
As well. Like,
but also the difference between something like that and like my Tahoe even is crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Because with the Accord, you're in it. You know, you're aware of everything that's happening because you're down there. You're down
in the trenches.
You're down like this. But in the Tahoe, you're like up here. Was that a speed bump or? And there's 15 children behind you. You just ran over a whole school bus.
Yeah, and you didn't even know. Yeah, that's definitely the thing. I felt that way about the Santa Fe that we rented, that minivan. When we went to Philly. That thing was high enough and so smooth that I'm convinced we could have hit a person and been like, what the fuck was that? That thing just like glided like it was on ice. Like, it had a really nice suspension, which is surprising.
Remember we put it in sport mode from back here, and it did nothing except turn the screen red.
Yes. I was like, oh, Chris, look, it has a sport mode, and all it did was just start flashing red on the screen.
It turned all the UI elements red and black, and it changed nothing else.
Yeah. You know why I think that happened, by the way? I did a little deducing. I think that was a CVT, if I remember correctly. And
that I do kind of remember, yes.
And I was messing around a lot more with the rentals we had in Tennessee because I had them for 2 weeks and not 2 days. And I was able to figure out in like 2 seconds that sport mode, all it does is downshift you. Like, it literally puts you 1 gear behind. So on the RAV4, it's like, okay, you're coasting in 6th gear, hit sport mode, okay, we're just going to leave you in 5th. That way you have a little bit more pick up and go from where you're at now. That's all it did. So I think that was technically supposed to be doing something like that, but because it's a CVT, there is no gear to go back to. Yeah, there's no gears.
A lot of CVTs, though, do fake shift because people get nervous because the car, instead of it going...
It just goes...
It goes... And it's always... Yeah. It's always optimizing the gear ratio for the exact thing that you need, the exact power you need. So, but people get nervous when that happens. So
yeah. So I was thinking about that the other day because I was like, man, like, in a way, I kind of wish my car had a sport mode because my car's the fucking king of being like, all right, Going 35. All right, let's see. We have 6 gears. Let's put you in 6th. That seems about right for
6
35.
gears. Let's put you in 7th.
That's what I was thinking. So I'm like, yeah, I kind of wish I had a sport mode where I could at least leave it in like 4th or something. Something a little nicer. Because, man.
Or the people that suddenly freak out if you dig into the pedal a little bit and there's the kick down and you go faster. There are people who just they get real nervous when that happens.
Yeah.
You're not breaking your car. I guarantee you the car's actually a lot happier at 6,000 RPM than it is at 1,500.
I promise you, yeah.
That's what it's supposed to do.
Yeah. Yeah, that does get people, I've noticed. Oh, no, the car got loud all of a sudden. Well, yeah, you put fucking pedal to the floor, bro. Like, it's like, oh, we go now. Okay. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. I feel like you should have to, like, do a little bit more for your license, to be honest. Like, a little bit more of, like, common sense sort of, here's how the car in theory works.
Yeah, they should teach you at least how the fucking thing works.
Yeah, like...
I feel that way about computers, too, though. Like, we didn't really have, like, a computer class, per se.
No, we had the computer lab I did, which all that did was, like, have you do, like, cool math games and
It
shit.
had you do stuff on a computer.
Yeah, like
but it
play
didn't
games.
teach you about them, and I think everyone should know at least a little bit about a computer.
I think everybody needs to understand about a computer, specifically, like, file directories. Not, like, advanced ones like what you would work in, but, like, what I would work in to, like, download a spreadsheet and move it between folders. And you gotta learn directories. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Or understanding why when you install something, like, okay, it's in x86, the program file's x86 folder, but your actual save data is in this folder, like that type of shit. I feel like people need to kind of know that, you know?
Yeah, especially if you're going to be working in any environment.
Yeah.
You're going to need to know how to use one. I think, maybe if you can open a web browser and navigate to a website, or open an email client and send an email with attachments without needing the assistance of 15 other people, it would probably be for the best, right?
Yeah. I would think so. It's a little more efficiency, I would say.
Almost, yeah. That's also why I think a lot of us as younger folks get a lot of shit done a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Because we don't have to account for, it took Bob 45 minutes to send this email that I sent in 15 seconds.
Yeah, because Bob had to figure out where he downloaded the PDFs.
Because Bob had to figure out how to get out of the Windows Update first.
Yeah.
Because he hadn't restarted his computer or turned on his computer in 15 weeks.
Yeah, I'm sure you have done this 100% because you were IT, but I've done this at work too, where I try to help someone who's a little less computer literate. And have you ever just been into someone who's completely computer illiterate and gone to their downloads folder, and you're just like, you downloaded this in 2016?
Yeah.
Like, but why is this still in there? Like,
yeah.
Like, that's a big thing for me, is like people who just have shit in their downloads folder. Actually, I think it was my boss. He might hear this and be like, that wasn't me, that was someone else. But I think it was him that for the longest time had their desktop organized in their downloads folder.
What?
Like their files. Like you'd be like, hey, that, just say report from the other week. Where do you have that saved on your computer? Oh, it's in the downloads folder. It's like organized inside the downloads folder. I'm like, what are you fucking doing? Like,
there's something saved that you need to go back and reference in the downloads folder. It's fucking insane work.
Yeah, I'm like, it's crazy. Like I remember if it was him or someone else that I was like, what? Like, what are you doing?
Also, just dumping files onto desktop too is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I normally have my own directories for things.
Mm.
But downloads is essentially a slightly longer lasting temp files storage.
Yeah.
I just clear it out.
I clear it at the end of every day on mine. Like as I leave work, I just wipe it.
I usually clear it. But if I'm downloading something 90% of the time, unless it's an exe file, it's not going in downloads. It's going somewhere else. It's going where I actually want it to go.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, it's more for like sending people stuff in emails. So it's like just download like a file, send it, delete it. So be
like at work, I have my own projects directory that I keep. specifically for stuff like that. It's organized and has all my stuff in it.
That makes sense.
And, I just think personally, maybe they should just do that. They should just implement the downloads folder as a temp.
Yeah.
Temp cache.
They should save that shit in RAM, like on power down.
Yeah.
Gone. Like, honestly.
Like how temp files are stored.
Yeah.
I had a guy who had, his computer was constantly flashing a fucking storage, warning. And it's because he hadn't restarted it in so long that there was 115 gigs of temp files.
Wow. That's crazy.
So I had to blow all that out, and then I just ran a virus scan on it. Let's just see. And it caught so many files.
Yeah.
So many files.
That's crazy. You know what I hate about new Windows? And maybe this is just... I don't know, maybe it's my work computer, but I do it with my own computer now. I believe it's part of either Intel Secure Boot, or Fast Boot, or maybe it's Windows Fast Boot, where when you actually hit the Windows Start button and hit shut down, it does not shut down. The actual way to truly shut it down and get your uptime to 0, cold start the thing after, is hold shift while clicking shutdown. It's the dumbest thing ever. If you just shut down, it basically puts it into... It kind of keeps the OS in I guess in RAM, essentially, in a fast boot, so you can boot in quicker. But it's literally marginally quicker, because SSDs are that fast now, that the difference is maybe 3 seconds. And obviously your files too, if you would lose if you had Chrome open or something. But yeah.
If I shut down my computer, if I click the shutdown button and my computer doesn't shut down, I'm putting a bomb in my computer and blowing it up.
Yeah, it's so annoying because we'll have issues at work, and then I had to teach my boss this, where we have issues, and then I'm like, go to Task Manager. Oh, your uptime is 37 days. Yeah, that's because you didn't hold shift while clicking shut down, because in fact, shut down is essentially the new sleep.
Windows also does that thing where you will go to shut it down, actually for real, and it'll go, well, you have these programs open, and you click shut down anyway, and then it just doesn't.
Yeah. Or you go to click shut down, and then it closes the program on its own anyway and goes away on its own.
What the fuck is this thing doing that it's taking 2 entire minutes to shut down?
Yeah.
What is going on?
I could Alt F4 in a 50th of the time.
Look, not to be that guy. Every operating system I've used other than Windows, you click shut down, and within seconds the thing is off.
Yeah.
You can click shut down you can open a terminal on any Linux distro, type shut down, and it will turn the computer off.
In a fraction of a second.
It will just stop. I shouldn't have to force shut down my computer every time I want to shut it off.
Because I left a fucking Google Doc open.
If I click power off, Windows, listen to what I'm fucking telling you.
Yeah.
I am your God, Windows. Don't tell me I don't have permission to shut down my Windows computer. I am the admin. You are the machine. You listen to me, not the other way around. Fool.
Look at what I have built.
Absolute chicanery. Absolute, just absolute foolishness and some other adjective.
Stupid.
Dumb. Idiot computer.
Yeah. You said it, man. Ain't nothing I can add to that.
This is a weird one.
Yeah. I'm so tired. Oh, man. That's all I got, though. Anything else, Chris? You want to talk about Jericho again?
Yeah, run that one back.
Oh, man.
Yeah, do the thing, man.
So, as always, you can find us on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Breaker, Radio Public, Spotify Podcast, and the RSS feed linked below. There's also YouTube, Spotify, with a video platform. You can see us. Instagram, TikTok. You can check us out there. And you can contact us via email, synapsemisfire@pm.me. Send your comments, questions, concerns, and death threats. I almost said Apple Podcast and Pocket Cast in the same syllable. So I said Apple Pocket Cast is what I almost said.
Oh, fuck. Yeah. Tune in next week where I stroke Jordan's chin because I get a little nervous. Tune in next week where I grab Jordan's balls because I get nervous.
That was an off mic callback in case anyone's actually wondering. It's about Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal just fucking molesting Willem Dafoe's wife in front of him.
That's what Willem was like, hey, stop that.
You can't do this to me.
That's Willem when he's in the cut chair. No, I love Willem Dafoe. He'd fuck him up. Fucking 1-2 hook him. Just fucking.
There was a story of Willem Dafoe when he was younger, when he was real young. He learned that he had a distinctive face because he pissed off some of these guys, and then a few days later they saw him on a subway and they said, that has to be him. No one else looks like that motherfucker.
That's crazy.
And that's how he knew that he had a distinct face.
I mean, that's one way to find out.
Anyway.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.